Hey, y'all, I'm Shane Sams, the host of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. I'm super excited to be with you today to talk to another member of the Flipped Lifestyle community and help them take their business to the next level and let you listen in. Be a fly on the wall of this coaching call so that you can figure out how to make your online dream possible too. My guest today is a military veteran. His name is Steven Foust. I've had the great pleasure of getting to know Steven over the last few weeks in the Flipped Lifestyle community, on our member calls, and in my roundtable coaching program. Steven has a membership and a couple different websites and Facebook pages helping NCOs, non-commissioned officers in the military, in the Army, advance their careers and take their personal journey on to the next level. As I said earlier, he was in the military for 20 years. He's going to tell you all about his story. Steven is a fascinating guy, and he has worked so hard not only to launch his membership, but he's got his first members. He just hit 40 people in his membership, and we're going to tell you how he did it and what he needs to do next to grow that thing to 100, 200, 300 members and beyond. On today's podcast, we're going to talk about how Steven locked in and found his winning idea for his online business. I love asking people the question, what do you know that nobody knows you know? And sometimes the answer to that question is hiding in plain sight. I know when Steven tells you how he came up with his idea, everybody listening to the podcast today is going to start looking around their room. I'm not going to go into any more detail, but you're going to figure it out when it happens. We're also going to talk about the one thing Steven changed in his entire business model that kind of shook the apple tree and made those apples start falling off the limbs, how he started actually getting members to join his membership site. And then I'm going to spell out a 12-week plan for Steven to help him scale and grow his membership into a full-time income. Man, this was a fun conversation. I know you guys are going to get so much out of it. You're going to want to give this one a couple listens and maybe take some notes the second time through. I'll be back here with you after the interview. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again today. Super excited, as always, to talk to another real member of the Flipped Lifestyle community and help them take their online dream to the next level. And I'm pumped up today to talk to my good friend, Steven Foust. Steven, how you doing, brother?
Shane, my friend, I am doing awesome. And I was telling a buddy of mine yesterday, I'm getting ready to get a PhD from you today. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know about
PhD from Dr. Sams.
I don't know about that. I need to start going by Dr. Sams. If Dr. Phil could just be Dr. Phil, I can be Dr. Sams. And I love the Kajabi Hero shirt you're rocking there.
You got to have. I'm a Kajabi guy.
You got a Kajabi guy. We love having the Kajabi people on here, man. So
you could help Dr. Phil launch a membership.
That's right. Sure. I could. Dr. Phil needs to call me. Y'all, if you know Dr. Phil and you're listening to this show, shoot Dr. Phil a message. Say, you need to talk to Shane Sams. You're wasting all your time on this television stuff. You need to start a membership. All right, Steven, tell everybody before we get started a little bit about you. Tell us about your background, like before the online dream kind of sparked in yourself. And tell us how you got into online business and what you're doing right now.
Awesome. Well, I'm Steven Foust. I tell you, I've had this entrepreneurial dream for many years, and I actually started taking real action on it a couple of years ago. But before I do that, let me tell you about what I've done to this point. I still one of those guys out there that has the day job. I'm at some point have that dream of pivoting to full-time self-employment, doing this thing. I'm convinced that the membership model, after going through ups and downs and trying a lot of different things, that it's going to be right for me and my family's future. And my day job, I'm a vice president for an aerospace manufacturing company here in Phoenix, Arizona. I have about 35 years in the aerospace industry. So that's kind of my specialty. That's what I know. That's what I've been trained in officially. And prior to that, I spent about 12 and a half years in the Army as a non-commissioned officer, as an aerospace guy in the Army, as a chief warrant officer. So I have a lot of time in the Army, as well as then I got out of the Army in '98, stayed in the Army Reserve. I retired from the Army Reserve after 20 years in 2005. So that's kind of my membership, pre-entrepreneurial journey. And then a couple of years ago, I just said, I've got to stop dabbling and I've got to go do something to actually begin this transition in life to go be an entrepreneur. Because I know it doesn't happen overnight. You got to work yourself in and through to that. So a couple of years ago, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he does an online course, and we're just brainstorming, and we're trying to figure out my niche, my idea. I've tried aerospace. I realized that I'm not passionate about that because I do that every day of my life. I wanted something different. So we're talking on Zoom, just like you and I are, and we're going around my room, and I'll move my camera here. And we're just going around my room, looking at things on the wall, saying, okay, what have you done? Let's see if we can come up with an idea. So we got to this book right here.
So what I'm seeing pictures of like Army guys around a helicopter. Yep. I'm seeing other like pictures and memorabilia like from the past. And then right below the helicopter picture is this book. Right?
Yeah. So back in the 90s, when I was in the Army, I was one of those high achievers, right? I was one of the high achievers that always was trying to get ahead, always trying to get promoted faster, trying to figure things out. So I wrote a book in 1995 to help other soldiers get promoted to NCO faster. I had it published. It was out for about 12 years, and I sold it all over different Army bookstores and things like that. So I got to this on the wall, and my buddy Jake said, "Stop, what's that?" I said, "Hey, that's a book I wrote back in the 90s. Okay, let's keep going. Here's some golf stuff, and here's some NASA stuff, wrestling, of course." And he said, "Go back, stop. That's your idea." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I started to think about it. I have an expertise in leadership. I have an expertise in the Army and understanding the lives of folks in the military. And I had wrote on the topic of that back in the 90s. And I took that idea and said, you know what? You're right. I went out and bought a domain, armypromotionpoint.com. I worked to get that going, the whole organic SEO route. I'm just not a patient guy. I can't sit back and just wait forever.
I don't know what that would feel like. Not being a patient
not
guy,
at all.
just jumping out of an airplane without a parachute.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Jocelyn's not here though. She could probably point a few of those guys out in her life.
Yeah, but
or at least one.
No kidding, yeah. But I said, I can't sit back and just wait forever. I'm too antsy. I got to do something. So I did what a lot of people do incorrectly. I went out and built a course before asking anybody if they wanted it. Right. So I built this big course, and I said, okay, I'm going to go sell this thing. So nobody bought it. And I said, hey, let's go figure out who the competitors are in this space. So I did a lot of long tail pro keyword research, figured out who my competitors were, who was ranking number one on Google. I reached out to them, and lo and behold, it was this one guy who is on ranking for, a page one, number one position for so many keywords that I was trying to get competitive in. And I said, hey, can I bring you on as an affiliate? Maybe you pitch my courses and do that. So he agreed to do that. I sold 3 copies. So clearly
proof of concept though. Proof of concept.
I did. And, we started, striking up a friendship, and he was going through medical school, and he called me back one day. He said, I'm just not really passionate about this anymore. Would you be interested in buying my websites? And I said, I don't know, maybe. How much? We started talking numbers, 60 grand. I did a lot of research. I looked at his numbers. He's had these sites for a dozen years. And we went back and forth, decided not to do anything at that point. Then he called me back again and said, okay, life happens, and I would really like to give these to you for a good price. So I ended up buying 2 of his websites for $15,000 each. So $30,000.
What are the websites? What are they?
Yeah, it's cutoffscores.com and ncosupport.com.
Oh yeah. So these are right. This is the niche. I mean, you just bought your way into the niche.
These were all the keywords that I was looking to rank for and to try to get organic traffic. So the problem with these websites was that these were on Yahoo Site Builder, an old legacy platform that they have since retired this past March. And I had a really tough time getting these sites and working with their tech support and all. I ended up moving these sites off of Yahoo onto WordPress just so I could manage them because I couldn't access them anymore. I just tried to get them built up, and that's now done since March. And I have these 2 sites. And
you bought a Facebook group too?
It came with it. He handed that to me. He handed that to me, a Facebook page, business page. It has 202,000 followers on it today.
Wow.
And it's a 10-year-old, 11-year-old page. And, so I have these 2 websites getting I think this last month in May, I got about 400,000 page views total.
Everybody needs to listen here, man. Like, this is crazy because, like, number one, I always say this to people. Well, lately, this is a new thing I've learned. A buddy of mine, we're talking about this and we came up with this. You know, I always try to tell people, you already know what to do. You already have your idea. It's inside you. You've got your God-given talents. You've got your God-given life experiences. You just have to ask yourself this question: what do I know that nobody knows I know? Like, that's it. Like, once you have that, the membership stuff is just it's paint by numbers. I mean, you've seen the system. You know how the blueprint works. It's just plug that into it, right? But you did something. You got me a new analogy here that I'm going to start using. Like, what's hanging on your wall? What is hanging on your wall? I mean, the only reason you would put something in your house on your wall is because it means something to you or it's important to you. You know, I have my degree from the University of Kentucky hanging on my wall because it means something to me to have a degree in education and history. You know, I got behind me, I got the $1 million belt and the WWE title that I bought off WWE.com.
That's right.
Because wrestling means something to me. You know, I got Kentucky. If you're looking at this on YouTube, I got this big giant glowing Kentucky hanging on my wall behind me because Kentucky means a lot to me, you know? And man, you just looked around your wall and realized, man, I wouldn't put it up there if it didn't mean something. Maybe that's where your idea lives. So one, anybody out there struggling right now, man, you need to just put these earbuds in. And while you're listening, you need to just get up, walk around your house and say, what's hanging on my wall? Your idea may be right in front of you that you look at it every single day. And then the second thing is, you know, I don't want to sneeze at a $15,000 investment in a website. I know there's a lot of people out there going, gosh almighty, I just like to have $15,000, let alone invest it. That's cool. I get that. Everybody's in a different situation, you know, but I have bought my way into some audiences for 3,000 and I've bought my way into some audiences for 1,000. I mean, the concept here is just, you know, sometimes you can, you know, there's only two ways to get there. You roll up your sleeves or you open your wallet. And it's interesting. You know, a lot of people think open your wallet means ads, you know. But sometimes you can just buy assets. Like you can go buy, like when you have an idea, if you do your research properly, for everybody that wants to get in, there's probably somebody else wants to get out. And that might be a great thing that someone out there has never thought about before to get into that. So you get this audience, you buy these websites, you get these assets, it's in your niche. You basically buy number one in Google for some terms, it sounds like. You buy a Facebook group, but those are our Facebook page, but those are weird. Right. Just because you have followers doesn't mean they ever see anything you post. But you do have now access to an audience, which is the ticket. So next question I would have is how did you find Flipped Lifestyle? Like, when did this happen? How did you get into what we're doing? How'd you get into the membership game? And what led you here? And then once you got in and realized, holy smokes, I think I can do this. Tell us about launching your membership to this audience.
Yeah, so I found Flip Lifestyle back, I think it was in November-ish of 2020.
Pandemic member, welcome.
Yeah.
Join. Yeah. You'll never forget joining because it was in the worst year in the history of humankind.
You bet. So. Oh, man. And, you know, I don't know what actually led me to Flip Lifestyle. I may have just searched for something that you popped up on either an ad or something. But what I did know was I was trying this course game and I wasn't getting many bites. I had bought these websites and he had a digital product he was selling and I made it better. And I've sold I was looking at it last night, 429 copies of that.
What price point?
I've given it away for $5 and I've sold it as high as $67.
Okay,
so
cool. Yeah.
Everywhere.
It's just $100 product, what we call that. 0 to 100, it's about the same.
Yeah. So I said, man, I'm putting this out there all the time. I'm always posting about it. I'm hustling, trying to sell a $30 product, basically, right?
Yeah.
And the whole course thing, I was a little bit kind of disappointed with the 3 sales, and I built it and no one came, and I'm just trying to figure out another way. And I'm one of those guys. If you sit back and let me, I'm going to spend all day changing button colors. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change button colors. I'm going to go in and I'm going to change spacing and I'm going to make the page look cool. You saw my webpage. You can tell I spend time on that stuff.
Yeah,
I just that's the kind of guy I am. So I'm just so sick and tired of not making forward progress. So I found Flip Lifestyle. And I said, I'm a guy that likes to play around on a lot of different things. So if I can put this in a membership, I can still play around and do all these different things, but I'll do it behind the membership paywall. But I'm only marketing and talking about one thing, which is a membership.
Yeah. And then there's meaning to the modifications. You know, like when you're guys, you're out there making your logo bigger and smaller.
Oh,
when you're out there and changing button colors because Amazon does it, and you're like, well, I'm Amazon. No, you're not. Amazon matters. Amazon's button colors matter. They have 8 billion hits. You don't. Yours don't. Mine don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but when you're in the tinkering gene, right, that we all have, like as entrepreneurs, when you do that inside your community, you're making things better for your members, your customers, the people that matter most. Like it's like Disney walking around. It's the guy picking up the gum. So there's never trash on the floor at Disney. It's putting up a new sign to make sure people can find the bathrooms at the amusement park. Like it's always helping people that are paying you. So that's a great place to tinker, but outside is not a great place to tinker because it's actually the simpler, the better. The best sales pages in the world are probably black and white with a button that's blue. Let's be honest, because everybody's used to clicking blue links. You know, you got a picture of you, some text, and a link. That's probably going to work better than anything we all do anyway.
Yeah. So I tell you, I was looking for a better way. I was looking for a simplified way to help me stay focused, stay in my lane, and really think about and pitch one thing. So through Flip Lifestyle, I went in and devoured a lot of the blueprint. I went in, I'm kind of a course guy, so I devour courses all the time. I love that stuff. And going through the blueprint, and then I started to dial into some of the Q&As. And I'll tell you, if you're out there and you're in the community, you're not in the community, and you're looking to take it to the next level, dialing into a Q&A, and I have some notes up on my screen here. On April 10th, I dialed into a Q&A and I asked a question.
These are our live member calls that I lead, is what he's talking. We do 2 of those a month. Yeah.
Yep. And I tell you, I dialed in, I put it on Zoom. I put my question in the box. I was at work. I had to leave to go to a meeting. So I logged off, and I went back after you posted it a few days later, just to review and see if you even answered my question. So you did. Towards the end, you answered my question, and you spent over 6 minutes answering my question. I got to tell you, you got me fired up. You got me ready to take action, because you told me, you shook your head and said, I'm getting ready to change Steven's life. If he'll just listen to me, if he'll just listen to me for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to change his life. We're going to build your membership right here. And you said, do 3 things, right? Stop selling all that digital stuff. Stop it. I know it seems counterintuitive, but stop it. And put all behind the paywall, serve these people, create the community, and basically do all the things that the blueprint teaches. And that's where I said, you know what, I am done, fiddling around with all these different things. I'm going to go focus in. And that was the call and the push that I needed to actually say, okay, what's the first step? And I went and started to build out what I now call NCOs on fire. Sorry, John Lee Dumas. I hope you're not mad at me.
John doesn't care. I've talked to him about that all. He loves it when people put on fire, man. John likes to feel the impact and influence he has. So like, it is definitely a measure of respect in his book when he does that. So I'll tell him we gave him a shout out here on the show too next time.
I tell you, it absolutely fired me up to take action. So I fast forward a bit. I went and I built out the membership. I went and put the content that I did have that I wanted to be in the membership inside the port. There's not a lot there right now, but I don't, whatever. I hear you talk about, hey, just get it out there. I did the ready, fire, aim approach. Wasn't sure I was quite ready, but I put it out there because I knew I'd get paralyzed if I didn't take action. So I put it out there. I launched this on April 24th, I think it was, the end of April. And I got 14 members pretty quickly. I did email to my email list. I put a post out on my Facebook page that we've talked about. I've gotten, some paying members. And as we sit today, I have a total of 40 members.
That's amazing, man.
28 are paying, and 12 are 30-day trialing for $1.
Yeah.
And I tell you, and last night, as I woke up this morning and I looked on my phone, I got my first quarterly upsell. That's what I'm talking about. And I just raised my price before I posted that. So
what's the new price?
It was $49.
Yeah, man. There you 49. Go. See, dude, you're almost already to. Yeah, I mean that's almost a 50. we're getting close to 50 people paying $50 a month, or it's a little bit cheaper because of the founders rate. But I mean, you've got a proven offer now, right? And you've got a real community, like everybody, wherever you are right now. If you're standing on a treadmill, imagine 50 people surrounding you. If you're in your car, imagine it's a clown car. You got 50 clowns trying to get in your car with you, right? And, this nickel and dime picking up a course sale here and there, launching to a bunch of people and getting 3 sales. No, man, you've got a breathing, living group of humans to serve. And man, that's epic, dude. And I want to commend you too, man. Well, first of all, thank you for your service. What an epic career you had, and everything you've done for the country. And now you're totally giving back to those young bucks and those other people who are in there right now doing it and making them better leaders and better NCOs. And it's an impact, it's a ripple, and it's like you just did it. You just listened. And you just did it, man. Right? Everybody always thanks me and say, I'm like, guys, I have never lifted a finger except on about 3-4 memberships that I own. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you what we're doing. And when you guys do it, that's what gets us excited, because we know that when people take action, great things happen. When you put yourself in the right place to be in the right place at the right time, you'll be in the right place at the right time and things will happen, man. So God, that's awesome, man. That just fires me up.
Shane, and here's the other thing. When I bought these websites, I got all this traffic. I had to get the sites where they were serviceable. They've always been monetized with display ads, which I'm still doing, which you've got onto me about and said, stop doing display ads.
Stop doing display ads. Sell your stuff.
I'm going to stop it as soon as we can get this membership a little bit higher. I get about $2,000 a month off of display ads.
We're going to replace that quick, bro.
But when I got this, he didn't have an email list. He had never captured emails. I'm thinking, man, you don't realize the asset you have. You just don't realize it. So I started at the beginning of the year collecting emails and trying to figure out opt-ins and whatnot. So I actually spent about $200 on Fiverr and had a calculator a custom calculator built that tells these younger soldiers how to, basically around the book that I wrote, how to accumulate points and how to calculate that and how to keep track of it and things they need to be doing and thinking about. And that's been my biggest opt-in. It accounts for about 90% of my opt-ins. And since the beginning of the year, I went from 0 to about 5,400 on my email list.
See, guys, I hope people are listening, man. I hope people are taking notes. Guys, it sounds like we're talking about complicated stuff, but man, here's what happened. Listen, an audience was built, an opt-in was put in front of them that was good and met a need, and 5,400 people opted in. A membership was created, and it was offered in a very basic form to people who needed it, and 40 people are in there already, right? Like this is just a testament to taking action and getting and serving and focusing on an idea that you are passionate enough about to go out and get it done and making things happen, man. And that's what was creating all this amazing opportunity, dude. This is bonkers, man. How awesome. And I knew, man, that member call, man, I totally remember that. And I was like, when you were telling me like what was in there, and I'm like, what kind of audience you got? And you're like, I'm like, what? And you were like, and I don't know if it was in the chat or somewhere, maybe we saw you in the forum or something, but like, we figured out like how many people are in there. And I'm just like, okay, here we go. It's over. Like it's funny how the plan works. Cause like every time someone says something like, I got a little attention, I'm like, quick, do this next. And it always happens. Like members join. There was a guy yesterday, man, too. I thought this guy, he had made I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a member of the community, and he had made like $1.5 million in seminars and sales. And man, he just hadn't built an email list. Like, I was like, man, that's the only mistake that I see people really regret is from day one, they don't start creating an email list. Like people want to make the course, they want to do their podcast, but really that's what you're trying to build. Like all roads lead to the list, all roads, whether it's the audience, affiliates, content, whatever it is, get them on the list. Hey, when you're a member of the community, you're still on our list. When you leave the community, you're still on our list. And if I have to switch platforms, go do another thing, whatever it is, we're always going to have that list, and you've got that. So let's talk about, all right. So that's where we're at. What a great story. Oh, hold on a second. And for everybody that's not been on a Q&A before, when we hear a great great
Cowbell.
success story.
Here it comes.
We're gonna ring the official Flip Lifestyle cowbell in celebration of those 40 members, because everybody needs more cowbell.
Here we
for
go.
the Flip Lifestyle community. When we do something great, that's how we celebrate those success stories on the member call. I don't know if that might be the first or second cowbell on the actual podcast, though. We need to have a cowbell every podcast.
Let me say this real quick. When you on that member call, you shook your head at me and fired me up, and you said, "Dude, you have way too much attention to be making $4,000 a month." Yes. And you are not making enough money. And it was that kind of statement that said, and I made the comment, I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I have all this. I just haven't figured out how to get it somewhere that can be more consistent, prolific, right? And relentless, as you would say. CPR. I don't need CPR. I just need a little ointment to go on an open wound. Okay.
No, I mean, you always need to breathe life into your business. That's what CPR is for, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. I love it.
That's amazing, dude. All right. So let's talk about what's next. Now we're sitting here. We know kind of the background. We know where we're at. We're in the right platform with Kajabi. We've got good traffic that's coming in. You've put in the work. You've invested your time and dollars. What fears or mindset issues are holding you back from going to the next level? Like a lot of people are listening and it's like, oh man, just keep doing what you're doing. Right. But like, what's now keeping you from explosive growth? Because I still don't think your mind is where I want it to be. I don't think you realize that there's probably 400, not 40 members sitting there begging for this. Right. And an audience that size. So what's holding you back from just like really pouring the kerosene on the fire here?
Yeah, the first thing that was holding me back was just taking action and doing it, because I had this, like a lot of people, I had this imposter syndrome. Although I've spent a lot of time and experience in this area in the field, I've always said, do I have what it takes to do this? Are people really going to listen? So I've gotten beyond that in large part because I've had your feedback, and I'm in your roundtable, and I'm doing some of these things where I'm just getting more focused, direct feedback and kind of step-by-step help, right? That's really, really helped me. But the one of my fears that I had, and I still have a little bit, is the content piece, right? I got the community built. I'm not getting engagement. And I've heard you say on different podcasts and things like, hey, when you have just a few people, you got 90%, they're going to lurk. You got, some that are going to do a few things, and most are just going to sit back and not do a lot. So I'm kind of adjusting to this mentality of people not actively engaging all the time. And I'm putting stuff out there, putting questions out there, asking things, and I'm just not getting a lot of, and I'm getting some, but just not a lot. But then the content piece, because I think a lot of people in the Army, they come in there, obviously they come for the content. I want them to stay for the community. And these digital products that I was selling pretty well, not really marketing, just selling organically with buttons on the website and things like that. People are coming in for that, right? So I want to make sure that I have enough core content. I don't need 47 courses, but I need enough core. So right now I have 3 leadership videos. I have a digital product that was kind of my bread and butter that walks them through kind of how to counsel soldiers and all the examples and things. And then I have some things called promotion points, where it helps these younger soldiers get promoted to NCO or get to the next level of NCO, where I have 5 or 6 lessons and videos and things in there. So there's not a ton of content. I worry about that quite a bit. And I just need to think about how best to fill that up with the right things, not just stuff, but the things they're going to find valuable, and not overdo it. Because my tendency will be, oh my gosh, I got to go put in 20 things this month. And I know that's just that's a non-repeatable model right there.
It's a fool's errand is what it is. Yeah. So here's something that I learned a long time ago about really all courses, content, coaching, whatever, right? People are only one question away from giving you money. Always. And in our model, the membership model, I want you to pay next month. Right. So if I can answer your question, you're going to pay next month. Okay. I think in the beginning of a membership, when you've got, under 100 people, you're not going to have that dynamo of everybody talking to each other yet. So what you have to do is you don't have to set the stage of tons of content. You have to set the stage for them to ask you questions. Now, one of the things that I do every morning is I draw 3 things at the top of my paper. I draw a smiley face, I draw a $sign, and I draw a cheerleading megaphone. Okay. Because I know that every single day of my life, 365 days a year, if I'll just make one of my members smile, and if I'll just go tell somebody I got something for sale, right? Then they're going to keep paying me, and that person's going to buy my thing. And if I'll just go out there and promote the brand, whether it's a guesting podcast, an email, a social media post, I'm going to get more attention. Like those are the three things I try to do every single day. And the unfair advantage you have early in your membership is you can really do those things well at a high level. Like if you just tried to say, okay, I'm going to ask a question to these 40 people, like what's frustrating you? Maybe it's an email. Where are you struggling as an NCO? What's your biggest problem you're facing today? How did your weekend go? What are you working on this week with your platoon or whatever? I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm saying? Like if you'll just write down these questions, like 30 of them that you can rotate through, just email them, post them in your social media or your forums, like get them to ask questions and tell you things. That's going to inform what content you actually need to create. Okay. Another thing you can do right now with only 40 people is get all their names, print them out, and put one name on each calendar on a 40-day cycle and literally call them, reach out to them, send an email to them to really tell these people, these founding members, that you care. It's literally a 10-minute task, right? And those two things alone will tell you how to make your content. And then be patient and sit back. And if you feel like you need more content, which you probably do, right? The original Flip Lifestyle Blueprint had 7 videos. They were 20 minutes long each. Look, what is it now? I don't even know what's in there now, like dozens. You know what I'm saying? But those are all questions that our members asked because we reached out to see what their questions were. Okay. So you'll learn more about what the problems and missing things are. You can set yourself up on a schedule, like gather responses for a couple weeks and then record a quick training about it and stick it in where it goes in your blueprint. And that balances content, but they don't want the content. They want someone to listen. That's what they want. And now what happens then is you start building a bank of when people ask those questions in the future, you have a place to point to. So you're not answering those questions all the time. And my buddy, Dan Miller, he wrote a book called 48 Days of Word You Love. He's got a great thing for this. I can't remember. I can never remember if it's 2 or 3, but he's like, if someone asks a question, if 3 different people ask a question, they know to make a piece of content for it. And that's kind of where we fall to. Like if this question gets asked 3 times by 3 different people, we know that that's something we should create. And I don't have to guess anymore. I don't have to worry anymore about what it is because the people are telling me. So I would create a strong daily environment for you, a daily habit of personally connecting with one of your members. Just reach out to 1 or 2, maybe 2 of them, so you can get them all in a month. Reach out to them, take 30 minutes out of your day. And then I would create a mass way of emailing them maybe 3 times a week to ask those questions like, how can I help you? And I would remind them too who you are. Like I'd say, hey man, Steven, NCO 20 years, man. I've been there and done that. I'm here to help you. What can I do to help you? Hit reply and let me know. And send that to the entire membership, 2 or 3 times a week with different wording. And then reach out to 1 or 2 of those people a day. You will not be able to when this thing gets over 100 people. This is going to get hard, right? But now you can. So you should. And then give yourself a place to content itch. Let's scratch that itch, man. I got it on the calendar every the 25th of every month, or the 20th. My team asks me, do we need to create any content? Then they block off like the 25th for me to make content if I need to. So I'll flip on the camera and I'll go in 45 minutes on a topic that's been asked a couple times, and we'll throw it in there wherever it goes in the blueprint. And that's how you build your content out without having to get on the hamster wheel. And what's really happening there with that content hamster wheel, and everybody in the car is going to go, yeah, that's me, is when you don't know what to do to get your next member, you go create a piece of content because you know what to do. And that's the great temptation that you have to resist as a content creator and as a leader in your community is content. Anybody can create content, right? But you have to go out and find your next member and keep the members you got. And that's where all of your attention should be.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And it just makes me think, when I get new members, right on the thank you page, I have a new member survey that I ask them to take. I ask 5 questions just to get a better sense of what job they're in, where they're stationed, what, the location, what's their struggle. And I've gotten a couple of really good ones. And it just makes me think about how to connect with these 40 members. I have this NCO that is it's a lady who is in Italy. She's stationed in Italy, and her response to what's the biggest frustration or struggle you have is the fact that basically she's the poster child for what my membership is designed to do. She's, doesn't get listened to, doesn't get invested in by other senior NCOs around her, feels like she's on an island. She said all of the things that actually caused me to go in and tweak my marketing language on the sales page a little bit. But I reached out to her the other day and she hasn't responded yet. Hey, let's jump on a Zoom call. Let me try to help you a little bit more and get to know you better. So those are the types of things it sounds like I just need to do more in scale with these 40 people.
Yeah. It has to be habit. Not even scale. It's just a habit. It's like, I do this every day for it. Like that girl's going to have different problems and frustrations next week. She's going to hone in on one of the ones she told you because it happened. You got to catch them on those days. That's when they'll come talk. Right. So that's why you got to do this stuff frequently. Frequency is everything. You got to do it over and over and over again because you never know when you're going to catch somebody. Also, you need to look through all the female NCOs that you got. You got to transition her to connect. Like, hey, I know you're going through these things, and let's be realistic. Some of it is probably because you're female, right? Like we're just thinking out loud here. We're telling the truth. Like there is a difference in the way people are treated based on the way they look, based on their gender, based on everything, right? Wouldn't it be amazing if she could come and hang out with other female NCOs and talk about those problems? Well, guess what? She can. That's where they are. So maybe this is even a sign like, okay, we've identified a category of NCOs, female NCOs, right? Have a female NCO hangout. You know what I'm saying? Where they can come to a safe place. They can talk to each other. They can share their problem, or go find an amazing, successful NCO, female NCO, do an event where you interview this person for your membership. It's a member exclusive. Like, this is my friend. She was an NCO for 20 or however many years, whatever. And she's, really wanted to do this for the female NCOs, but also all the other NCOs, you need to hear this too, because it'll talk about how to have these relationships. And like, man, that would be amazing. So these are clues of what you need to create for these people. And they come from just asking simple questions over and over again without any guesswork. And that transitions her to community, that transitions her to connection, that transitions her to leadership. And now she doesn't have to worry about how much content's in there. She knows she's in the right place forever and she'll never leave at that point.
Yeah, those are great points. And it's really an avenue I hadn't considered, but it's one that I definitely need to go down, because I am finding, even in this short period of time, I'm finding, as you would say, success leaves clues, and people are leaving clues about what they most need, either through direct feedback or some of the things they're posting about their bio when they do introduce yourself.
But hold on, go back one step though. It's because you're asking.
Right.
When they join, you asked them to fill out a bio. You asked them to ask you a question. We all need to do that all the time, right? Like that's what we need. That's why we have Q&As. That's why we have forums. And that's why I send emails to our memberships that says, what's frustrating you today? How can we help you? Like it's amazing what people will tell you. All right. So let's talk about the mechanics of the marketing side now. Okay. Because there's so much audience there. 5,400 people is a lot of emails, dude. That's a great email list. You've done amazing building an email list that big, that fast. We have to go after them aggressively, right? Not just a launch, not just a couple emails. So what are your plans right now to market to these people and move people off that list? Like you've had a launch. It was just an email launch basically, right? Like just posting, correct?
Yeah. I just sent an email and posted in Facebook.
Yeah. So what's your next step, do you think? How are you going to get this out and like really be like, okay, I need to get this in front of this email list 7 times. I need to get this in front of this Facebook page 7 times. Like what's your plan?
Yeah. What I've done just through the blueprint and other things is over the last week to 10 days, I've been emailing my list every day. It's been super uncomfortable, as it probably is for a lot of people, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I think people think the membership is just me poking people in the back with a stick. And like you go forward, but it's really uncomfortable all the time. Right.
Yeah. We talk about unsubscribes. I said, this is funny. I sent a Memorial Day message on Memorial. I said, Happy Memorial Day. I didn't make a pitch. I did put a PS in there, but I didn't make a pitch in the email itself. I said, Happy Memorial Day. Thank you for your service. I appreciate everything you do. And, hope your family's safe. I had 17 unsubscribes from that.
Hey, man.
Buy or unsubscribe, but it's Memorial Day.
I know, man. You can't make everybody. I had one time waiting at Memorial Day. I posted Happy Memorial Day, and somebody wrote me in. And they were just like crazy going like, I can't believe you would post like Happy Memorial Day. It's not happy. It's sad. And I'm like, listen, people, I am blessed and happy, and those people who served were blessed and happy, and all of us are blessed and happy because of the sacrifice, because of what they get, and I know it's not happy. I know it's not. That's not the point. I'm just saying, like, let's be happy that we do have people willing to do that. Let's have people. Let's be happy that we can support the families of the fallen. Let's all be happy and blessed that we live in the greatest place on the planet Earth that's ever existed. That's what I was saying, right? But I mean, there was no. I wasn't good. I didn't even hit reply. And Jocelyn was like, and every year Jocelyn's like, "Are you going to put Happy Memorial Day?" And I'm like, "You better believe I am."
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'm like, I'll throw a blessed in there, but I'm gonna put happy, man, because like, like I go to the graveyard. I'm somber, I have military in my family, and like, but like, man, it's like at the end of the day, I get to the cookout and I look around to see what our sacrifice creates, and I'm like, dang, man, that's pretty. That makes me happy, So
if there's one thing,
they're all gonna quit, bro.
Yeah,
you're gonna make somebody mad if you're not doing it.
Oh
right.
my gosh, that's absolutely. I've made people mad, but you've challenged me to email my list every day. I've been doing that. Just coming up with. I remember you saying something like, "Hey, it's summertime. It's hot outside. Here, buy my membership." It's just get in front of my email list.
Hot outside. Stay inside and spend time in my membership.
That's right.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow, Steven. I'm gonna send that.
All right,
man. It's hot today. Y'all stay inside and read the blueprint.
That's right. But I need to get more prolific with my email list. I admittedly don't email them very often up until let's say 10 days ago. Then I've hit them every day. I've had a few more unsubscribes, but I think that's settled down. I think people are over the shock and awe of me showing up in their inbox every day. But I'm doing it. Basically, those have all just had PS pitches for the membership. I haven't put anything solely focused on the membership as an email by itself. It's usually another topic. It's some little nugget of value I share, and I put the PS in there. And then I put in the Facebook group. I post different things at times in the page. And this is another problem I've had is in the Facebook page, especially with that many people. So in the middle of the month, when I post updates for promotion points and different things that the Army's putting out that people are looking for, I'll get 20, 30, 40,000 reaches. I'll get 20, 30,000 engagements, and I'll get trolls. I mean, when I try to sell something or when I say, "Hey, check this out. This could really help you." And they'll just, a few people, it's not everybody, obviously. It's probably 2 or 3 that I've had that are just like over the top with, I'm ripping off soldiers and it's not patriotic. And hey, man, I wish I could say that stuff didn't bother me at times, but it just makes me think, and it keeps me from wanting to promote in the Facebook.
Nah, man, you gotta take it, because if you're a hunter, that to get the biggest deer, you're gonna have to go get a couple ticks. You're gonna have to get back in the woods, son. You know what I mean? And I mean, if you're going fish and you get the big ones, you got to get out there all day and get sunburned a little bit. I mean, that's just the way it is. And those people are not mad at you. They're mad at somebody else. They're mad at their life. They're mad at. It could be someone who hates the military and joined your group just to troll. It could be somebody who maybe they're on year 19 of their career and they never made it where they wanted to be, and they're jealous or mad. And we just can't take. I just try to have as much grace and forgiveness for trolls as possible while standing up to them, because bullies don't fly around me. You know what I mean? And also you have to remember, like, I hate to use military analogies, but it's like say somebody was down and you had to run into fire to get them. You're going to do that, and like these people that do need you, that want your message, that you can impact and will listen. You can't let the trolls shout you down, because they need you more than the trolls, more than you need to listen to those trolls. It'll prevent you from your mission of helping these NCOs, what they want. Yeah. So it's hard, man. It's easy to say, but I mean, the skin gets thicker. I mean, some of that stuff doesn't even bounce off me. I don't even register anymore. Jocelyn likes to fight with them more than I do now. She's on our ads all the time, just like hammering people, man. And she's just like, sit down. She's like, sit down. I will take you out. Sit down. She goes after them, man. She's no mercy from Jocelyn. But I mean, it's just something, man. I would latch on to the people you can help and know that the enemy will rise up against you. And that's just the way it is. And you've got to just take the hits and let your skin get thicker.
And I think that whole page over the last, decade. It's not been used to go promote and sell things.
Right. Some people have snuck in the back door that probably shouldn't be in there.
Right.
Right. Which is fine. That's fine. So let me ask you this. I think I know a strategy beyond email marketing that you probably need to do at this point, because it'll blow it up. We've got some promotional stuff that we're talking about in our coaching group that I'll, if you want to know what we're talking about in the top secret coaching group, guys, you got to join the roundtable. I'm just saying, you got to join Shane's roundtable. But I think I know something else that you need to do on another habit that you probably need to settle in now that we got the daily email habit going. But I got a couple questions first. First of all, I would say, what is the number one thing these NCOs want? Like, is it the promotion? Is that what they want? Like, they want to improve their life through promotion, and that's what you can give them?
I think that's the symptom. I think that's the symptom that they probably feel. Yeah. I know when I was an NCO and some of the struggles I had, and just some of the feedback I've gotten with connecting with a few of them recently, is a lot of them come in are wanting some specific help around counseling or writing awards or doing some basic stuff that I help them with. But what they really want is connection with people who think like they do, who want to improve themselves, who are willing to invest in themselves, who care more than the typical average Joe NCO that's in there getting a paycheck, or drag racing their cars and doing whatever they do. They want more connection with like-minded people, and NCOs go through formal schooling about every 2, 3, 4 years based on their rank, right? And that's the only schooling they get is that. So they get some leadership training, the Army way, bureaucracy, all the things that the Army does really well, but they get that so infrequently. What do they do in between time? So I'm really using this as a way to bridge the gap between these formal events and give them growth and development and camaraderie and like-minded people.
So the way they increase connection and surround themselves with better people is achieving rank. That's it. Like, it's moving up the rank. So promotion's not the right word. Rank is the right word that they would really latch onto. Like, man, it's like being in the room where it happens, right? Like, if I'm the next rank, and I get to a certain rank, like I'm getting away from the Joes that are getting on my nerves, and I'm going up here in true leadership kind of deal.
Yeah. And then it's, are they getting the investment of time from the other leaders that are senior to them, who are, by default, I think human nature, people are really into themselves.
I gotcha.
And the selfish don't want to spend time with you. I'm really focused on me and my career. And sometimes they lack that growth and development from the people around them that should be given it to them in a certain way. And they are going to look for it somewhere else. So I want to be that somewhere else that they can go find.
What would they call those people? Would they call those people their superiors? What would they call those people that aren't giving them the help that are above them?
Yeah, they'd be their leaders, their first sergeants, their sergeant majors, the people that are either more senior to them in the same rank or people in a higher level rank. So, for example, this person in
senior
Italy,
officers, would they be called?
They're not officers, senior NCOs.
Senior NCOs.
Senior NCOs. You have junior NCOs and senior NCOs, but
some people that join this would be senior NCOs trying to go even higher. Okay.
Yep.
So I think a good general term might be superiors right here. I'm trying to create something over here on the side, but we'll talk about it. We can massage this to you to make it better.
No worries.
Because that's their great hang up. It's like, God, these people will not give me what I need to figure out how to get to the next level. Right. And that's their main frustration.
And sometimes all they need is to vent and to ask a few questions and to get a perspective.
Yeah. How do you say this? Like, how to improve your rank, how to increase your rank, what do you say that? Like,
I've been using terms like accelerate your career, things like that. I've been using promotion is a pretty common term, right?
I like rank though, because I think that
it's more status. It's more
rank feels good. You know,
get promoted to the next rank, right? Advance to the next rank. Things like that.
How to advance your rank? Could you say that? How to advance your rank? Would that be correct? How to advance to the next rank?
To the next rank. To the next rank. It's always it's like the next step. The next step for them is the next rank.
Okay. So one thing we have to do is we have to take a knife and just stick it in their ribs and make them feel it and pour salt in it, and that'll get them fired up, right? Then we have to. The one thing that you need to do is you need to get these people to show up live. You're well spoken. I mean, you're a great guy. You say, I mean, I've hung out with you now in person a couple times, and like, I think getting you in front of these people is the most important thing to convince them, right? The email will be part of it. The email is only part of the pie. It's like, here's one slice of pie. If we got a pizza, email is a slice of the pizza. There's other pieces of the pizza that will get people to join your membership. There's your website, there's your sales pages, there's ads, there's whatever. But right now you need to get in front of these people regularly. And if I was you, and if you really wanted to grow this thing over the next 12 weeks, I would do a weekly webinar, and I would call that webinar, how to advance to the next rank and accelerate your NCO career without any input, help, or support from your superiors.
Ooh, I like
because now because that's what they're missing, right? And that's what they wish they had. But you don't need now. And then you got this guy, and then the next sentence is, "Hi, I'm Steven. I was an NCO for 20 years. I'm retired, but I've come back to help people like you." And like that's the gist, and that's the name of the webinar. We create a webinar that will tell your story as an NCO, how you moved up the rank, how you did it without all this support from people, and you tell this story of what's possible. We show them the 3 big things they can find in your membership that will help them do that on the webinar. And then you pitch at the end. You pitch the membership at the end. And I just pitch a member. I pitch the monthly. I might pitch the quarterly actually on that, on the webinar. So you can show up and say, hey, I'm going to let you in right now. I usually only do this if people sign up for something else, but I'm going to give you 50% off the quarterly right now. So you can just join and get a ton of quarterly members. Just start stacking them 12 weeks in a row, but you can pitch the monthly membership too, just straight up. Like, here's the monthly membership. You just tell them about it and say, this is the value. This is what it is. It's amazing. We've already got dozens of members from all over. We're stationed all over the world inside. You do. And we want you to join us, right? You can totally pitch the membership straight without discounts, right?
Yeah.
And I think with this, when you have an audience, get in front of the audience as much as possible. So it's the same thing every week. It's like you pick a day. Like, I'm going to do it whatever day you think was best for NCOs, like to come to a webinar, right? Whatever, Sunday or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out. And it's just every week is the same cycle of, like, let's say it's on a Sunday. Let's say Sunday night might be the best time for a webinar. And you're like, I'm going to do this on Sunday nights. So we do a webinar. You send a replay out on Monday. You wait on a Tuesday. You wait on a Wednesday. You send them some other stuff, content, cool value. Thursday, Friday, start telling them about the next webinar. And you just do the same webinar every single week. We build one webinar. You do it 12 times. Try to get as many people to see it in a row. We look up and we're over 100 members in 12 weeks.
Wow.
But yeah, because there's plenty of people there. And this is why product is first, audience is next step, and then you start selling. If you just sent this to your list every week, it's the same thing. And all we do is change the subject lines to get them to open the emails. The emails are basically the same, but remember, 80% of people don't read the email from last week.
Yeah.
So, and the people that do open it just skim it. So it's not like they're even going to recognize it. There's ways to spice that up and tell different stories to get them to, join the webinar. But like, I think if you do that, it's going to crush. It's just going to absolutely crush. You're at the place where you have people looking at you, but can you get in front of them more? Daily email, inviting them to weekly webinars. Come on now, right? You in front of the camera, they get to know you as a 20-year NCO veteran. By the end of it, you're their mentor. You don't need those superiors. You don't need any input. You got me. Why would you need anybody else? And you could say things like, I've been an NCO longer than your superior anyway. That guy's been in for 10 years. I did it for 20. Like, why would you even listen to him in the first place? So, I mean, it's just such an easy pitch. And I think this is the gold path for you, man. Like,
so 12 weeks of webinars, same webinar every week. Pitch that to the email list and in the Facebook page.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, run ads to it.
Do that as a webinar, not necessarily as a Facebook Live.
Yeah, I would do it as a webinar. I'd go get Zoom webinar, and I would get people to show up or get some. There's lots of webinar platforms you can.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm totally agnostic on that side of things. I don't think Facebook Live is for this. I think this is get people to raise their hand and get them to show up. It's like pitching them from a large live event into a smaller one, so you can make a sale. And then your goal is like, let's get 10 people every week. Like in 12 weeks from now, we've got 100 people. I mean, let's go.
Would you still offer the 30-day $1 trial, or that's something I'm still thinking about? I don't know if the $1 things work. I just don't know yet enough of this audience.
You can open then close that. I mean, that's fine. You can just leave it on your website as a monthly, like join for $49 a month, or on the webinar, you like join for $100 a quarter, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And now you go get 100 of those. That's $10,000 a quarter. Then the next quarter, you get 100 more of those. That's $20,000 a quarter, and it just stacks, right?
Yeah.
After that. So you have to have some kind of, you need some kind of gimmick on a webinar. You need something. Bonuses work great, but like for a membership, I find annual and quarterly does really well. So
yeah, and I have all that digital product. I could peel out 10 of those examples that I have 100 that I sell, or I could peel 10 out and package it up as a bonus and give that stuff
something. Yeah. Easy. Yeah. But it's usually better at discount right then, because there's like a fast action bonus. Like, like I'm going to be doing some webinars later this summer, about once a month, because I'm going to be on the road so much. And I will be pitching annuals on those webinars, because if I'm only going to be able to show up once a month, I really want bang for my buck. So I'll be selling annual discounts on those. So you can do either one. We can talk more about that, but yeah, that's the path, man. That's it.
That's my next step. Then I'm going to go build a webinar.
Yep.
I'm going to,
and I have in the Flipped Lifestyle community, there's a webinar training where I have one of my webinars. I actually go through it and break it down. The slide deck is in there with instructions on what to put on every slide.
Follow the blueprint.
Follow the yellow brick road, baby. The Wizard of Oz is always at the end.
Being from the Army, I love following instructions. I'm good at following rules. That's kind of that's my MO, right?
I'm a football coach. I'm a football coach. I know the drill. Yeah. You got to know what every minute of practice looks like, or you can't practice.
I'm disciplined once I have the process. It's just landing on the right process and then going. That's me. So that's the plan. Webinar once per week, 12 weeks. Yep. My goal is to be at 200 by the end of the year. It sounds like I could be there a lot quicker if I could be
2 quarters. Yeah. You need about 2 weeks to make the webinar. We got to go. It takes a little time, and then you just refine it as you go. Every webinar, you just sit there for an hour with a cup of coffee and go, all right, what did I do bad this time? What worked? What blew the chat room up? You know what I'm saying? I need to do more of that. Right. And then you're off to the races, man. But listen, dude, Dan, this was a great conversation. I know there's people out there right now, minds are blown, because they're like, God, this guy did this guy did that. If I just take action, I can do this and I can do that. And I'm always so thankful and grateful for our members, man. You guys come on here, you hold nothing back. You're so transparent. You're so honest. And these conversations just help so many people, Steven. So thank you so much, man, not only for what you're doing for NCOs out there in our military, but also, man, just for coming on here and helping Flipped Lifestyle listeners take their business to the next level too.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, Shane. Thanks so much.
All right, guys, that wraps up my interview with Steven Foust. Man, what a great coaching call. What a great guy. What a great mission to go out there and serve NCOs and help them advance their career. It's amazing how much Steven actually had swirling around him, all the chaos, all the confusion in this online business, and how one Flipped Lifestyle member call, 1 6-minute answer to his question, completely laser focused his business and launched this amazing community he's got into the world. That's what we do every single member call inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. Twice a month, I come on and I answer questions from the Flipped Lifestyle community. We do it on Zoom. It's completely live, and it is my favorite time of the month. But we also answer questions every single day, just like Steven's, inside our Flipped Lifestyle community forums. Our forums are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we've got members in there from all over the world asking questions, helping each other find answers. We've also got our entire team in there hanging out in the forums, community members, me, Jocelyn, and more, all to help you find the answers you need to your biggest questions so you can take your next steps. The Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint is not some course you buy and we just put you in there and leave you to your own devices. You have all the support from our team and hundreds of other family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world to help you take your next steps. But we can't help you if you're not in the community. So your next step right now, if you are not a member of the Flipped Lifestyle community, is to go to flippedlifestyle.com/free. That's FLIPPED lifestyle.com/free and sign up for a 30-day trial today. New members get 30 days inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. You'll get unlimited instant access to the entire Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. This is not dripped or a smaller version. You'll get access to all of our amazing community forums. We'll add you into our Flipped Lifestyle community Facebook group so we can get to know you better. And of course, you're going to get access to those member calls every single month where you can come and ask a question yourself. Who knows? You may be one question away. Who knows? You may be one question away from changing your family's future forever. We're going to help you find that answer inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. So head over to flippedlifestyle.com/free. Join us inside and on the next member call today. All right, guys, that is all the time that we have for today's Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. But before we go, we always want to end every show with a verse from the Bible. Jocelyn and I get a lot of our inspiration and motivation from the Bible, and we love sharing that wisdom that we find with you every week on the podcast. Today's Bible verse comes from Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. In the Bible, it says, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you." I love this Bible verse, not only because it shows that, God is there for us, Christ is there for us, but it also clearly, implicitly tells us our part in the process. Ask, seek, knock. You got to get out there and do the thing, just like Steven did when he bought that audience, just like Steven did when he got on that member call and asked that question, just like Steven did when he emailed that list and he started knocking. You've got to do the same thing if you want to build the future you want for your family and see your online dream come to pass. All right, guys, that is all the time we have for this week. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you so much for listening to the podcast. You can help us grow the show by sharing this episode with a friend, retweeting it, or sharing it on social media. Or, hey, if we bring value into your life, please go to Apple Podcast, subscribe to the show, download a few episodes, and leave us a 5-star review. Don't forget, we have a second podcast. It's called The Shane Sams Show. It comes out every single Thursday. On that podcast, I interview some of the biggest experts, influencers, and authors online so that you can hear the best practices from some of the most successful people anywhere online and apply those lessons to your own business and life too. And as always, until I see you again, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
We're gonna make it, man. You're gonna be awesome. You're gonna be a great success story.
Oh, I love it. I love it, man.
You're gonna kill it, dude.